Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Neeru Tandon, Department of English, VSSD College, Kanpur. In this paper of English language teaching, we are discussing methods of teaching English. This module has been written by Dr. T. Sai Chandramouli of Hyderabad. Now, whenever we talk about methods, in the present scenario, the foremost thing comes in front of us in the form of technology. In this module, we are discussing technology in teaching and learning English in a different scenario. This module is designed to help to understand the need for using technology in teaching a language like English. Methods and goals of teaching English using technology is dealt with in order to empower students and enhance their communication skills and use English to enjoy better living conditions and elevated status in society. Technology and teaching English language. They are otherwise two different things. But when we combine them, then we have better results. Language impacts thoughts. Thoughts, they control our expression. And clarity in expression and impressive vocabulary enable one immensely in interpersonal communication. Awareness, knowledge, skill, all these things assume significance in intercultural communications. English is used extensively in education, administration, commerce, trade, and diplomacy. Command over the language empowers the teachers and the learners in excelling in their respective academic pursuits. Technology, nothing new. It can be viewed in myriad forms all around us. Language technology refers to information technology as well and the other tools used for communication. In a unipolar world where the language empowers one beyond bounds, it has become mandatory for the teachers to become technology savvy and fine-tune their methods of teaching accordingly. For example, PPT enhances pleasure in teaching learning. At the same time, it gives a better understanding of the content. Teaching literacy and love for innovation or innovative techniques of teaching not only enliven classroom environment but enthuse the learners to evince keen interest in the proceedings that take place. No more boring books, no more boring lectures. This is something interactive that is coming in front of the teachers as well as for students, and both of them are taking active part in learning and teaching. So the help has been taken by audio-visual aids, but today we have moved forward and we have many more things. In the 21st century, when we started it, social media and a variety of resources, they elevated levels of teaching and learning languages. The first thing that we started, that was OHP, like overhead projectors. Then we had distant learning mode through radio and then television, contact programs, audio cassettes, video cassettes, transistors, car radios, FM station broadcast. All these things were there as tool which shared views with learners. BBC broadcast enable an Indian learner of English to hone his listening and his speaking skills, whether he is living in a village or in a remote area. Television also has come forward. It is not only a means of entertainment but a means of teaching and learning also. They have various channels broadcasting various programs like dedicated satellite channels or services like EduSat, where computer-based teaching like digital literacy, language labs, telecasting films in English, programs like What's the Good Word, quiz, dumb charades, etc. are there to help the students through the help of technology to live a better experience. IT revolution has totally changed the life pattern. Communication and interpersonal relationships are now more strengthened. Networking and connectivity are the keywords in this context. Preparation of study material, interactive teaching, using specific websites for learning pronunciation, correct intonation, etc. can be carried out using computers in language teaching. Four of the most relevant areas to be considered in the process of creating and dissemination of content are connection type, use of mobile internet, use of micro SD cards where we can just have ample material, and use of educational mobile applications like text messaging, spelling test, voicemail, YouTube, etc. Other than this, British Council, who is just there committed towards the welfare of the English-speaking people, offers a huge choice for smartphones. One can look at the options on their web page and download the apps on Google Play, Apple's App Store, etc. Some are like Duolingo. It's a wonderful app that has just won the Best Education Startup Award. It is designed like a game and is pretty addictive. It is free, contains no adverts, and is very effective. Using a QR code opens a new tab or window. The learners may love Johnny Grammar's word challenge. It's a fun way to improve grammar. 2Min English. It is free, has no adverts, and contains more than 200 2-minute video lessons on a variety of topics like social English, business English, travel English, common mistakes in English, idioms and phrases, much needed by the language learners. We have Game to Learn English Powerbox. It is a multi-level game. Once downloaded, it appears as English Tracker. The first 3 levels are free. The learner has to spot the mistake. If one gets it wrong, he receives a clear explanation. It's fun, easy to play, and a learning. Real English. That is also an app which offers a variety of apps at different levels. Business and conversation apps at beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels. Again, this is free, but it contains adverts. Each app contains 20 lessons that focus on a specific grammar or vocabulary areas. Each lesson is made up of 5 parts. The next one is Ipadoyo. It lets one record up to 60 minutes of high quality audio. Learners can then add titles, descriptions, images and geolocate their recording before instantly uploading to their ipadio.com account or cross-post to their Twitter, Facebook or blog. Now, various things that help is speech recognition. Language spoken is recognized and transformed into a text. Dictation systems giving commands, as in the case of computer robots, makes learning English enjoyable and easy as well. Speech synthesis, what one utters in a spoken version of a language is produced from text to speech system. Then we have text categorization, where texts are categorized with the help of this technology. Subcategorization also is possible. Filtering is a special mode of categorization. Text summarization, which is also a significant part of a text or passage, can be extracted as a summary. Report generation, technology can be employed to extract information, data fusion, text data mining. Even evaluation of answers or responses can be done by making use of data bank available or created for a specific purpose. We have translation technology. With the use of technology, machine translation facilitates work of human translators. We have specialized algorithms. Dedicated things have been designed for parsing, generation, translation, as well as morphological and syntactic processing in learning a language like English. We have linguistic tools. Highly useful tools make teaching learning a language like English a pleasure. Now, when all these technologies are there and the learner is on the other hand, Just having the technology cannot help him. How to use this technology? And the researches are being done how far these technologies are harmful or helpful. There are things to ponder. Language classroom becomes learner-centric. It stimulates creativity, helps shed inhibitions, forges relationships, and enhances awareness about individuals and the world, promoting full-fledged development of learners. Subtle yet significant problems posed in learning pronunciation of certain items and expressions in English can be effectively resolved using technology. Extensive use of social media may result in creating a new variety of English spellings. Now, when you come to the debating part related with English language teaching, the very first thing that appears regarding oral development or reading or writing, we have these 4 sections LSRW, but when question comes, what is more important? Whether only oral teaching is sufficient, or first oral teaching should be given, or first the capacity to reading and writing should be developed. It's a debatable topic. We are going to discuss this thing. Like, there is a school of thought that suggests children learn best by hearing language being effectively modeled by skilled teachers and having natural opportunities to use language in productive activities before embarking on robust learning of literacy. However, the relative success of this type of approach may lie in the oral competency of the teacher and easy access to appropriate resources. In some contexts, it may make more sense to expose children early to reading, learning phonics, and the explicit teaching of grammar. Clearly, it makes little sense to be teaching reading and writing in a second language beyond what has been achieved in a first language, although it may be possible for the 2 languages to develop at similar rates. However, older learners may have knowledge of literacy to transfer over from a stronger first language. In many contexts, schools are measured by how many children pass academic exams, which may necessitate and encourage a teaching to the test mentality amongst teachers. However, this could mean that the more important aspects of learning are neglected. Now, when we divide up language for child foreign language learning, we must mention Cameron's study. Cameron, she has just pointed out various areas like learning a foreign language, learning the written language, learning oral skills, were divided into discourse, vocab, grammar, conversation, and extended talk. Cameron separates learning the written language not necessarily because she sees this as coming later in a child's development, but because the written language needs to be explicitly taught by the teacher. The process needs planning, and the teacher needs to understand what is involved in doing this. However, this does not mean that written language is divorced from spoken language. But for the young language learner, language is presented, practiced, and learned through speaking and listening. As the result of activities that take place in the classroom, children learn the meaning of words, and grammar emerges from the space between words and discourse, as said by Cameron. Now, whatever we are discussing it in 3 segments. How technology helps us is again a matter that how it helps very young learners, how it helps the intermediate learners, and how it helps the learners who are going for higher education. Like children, young learners, effective classroom strategies have traditionally involved use of songs, rhymes, traditional stories with repeated language structures. The interaction can be a rich source of authentic oral models via recorded songs, talking electronic books, podcasts, and video clips that help learners with pronunciation as well as acquisition and reinforcement of new vocabulary. These tools can also help to support the teachers who don't feel as confident with their own language skill or having knowledge but not the proper pronunciation. They can also take the help of technology while teaching. Technology also affords children the opportunity to record themselves for playback at a later time. Learners, they report that the ability to listen and playback recording helps identification of grammatical errors and inaccuracy in pronunciation, encouraging self-improvement. Young children, they can use flip or other video cameras to record their mouth movements to develop phonetic accuracy. Recordings can subsequently be compared with the standard models sourced from internet that are easily available. When we use technology for very young children, we know that when we use audio-video method for playing songs or the lyrics for them, they just very easily grasp it, and they just build a relationship with the character also whom they can see in front of their eyes. Like cartoon characters, when they speak something or do something or use some words, they become instantly favorite for students, for young learners, and they adapt it immediately and it comes into their being. How many students, they are so well aware with Harry Potter? Not only with the e-books but also with the films made based on the books. So it was not easier for very young learners to go through those voluminous books and understand what is Harry Potter. But the moment they had seen films based on those things and those novels, now they are very happy, and Harry Potter is just another name in the list of their friends. So how they have adopted those words, those technologies, those terminologies, it's amazing. So young learners, they can be benefited by technology. They can learn songs, they can have the stories, they can have the characters, and one more thing, that is edu gaming. It is very prevalent. When we talk about edu gaming, that is through games, children are very just attracted towards video games. We can teach them a lot. A lot of good language skills can be taught by using edu games. In this edu gaming, that when we incorporate good vocabulary, when we incorporate good sentence construction, and particularly some games are there where the characters leave half sentences and rest of the sentences are being fulfilled by students to complete the game. That is the best way to teach them in a fun way. Then studies are not a burden on them and they learn it so easily. Now when we come to intermediate level, their technology is there, and technology can be helpful for writing skills. They can take help how to write, how to express themselves through technology, because when you are doing a spell check, most of the things you get corrected by technology on its own. Other than that, you have e-books available. You can take help from the data available on internet. But when we come to higher studies, we feel that technology is a necessity. And there comes another portion, that is ESP. ESP is again a part of ELT. ESP means English for specific purposes. It includes business English. It has a long history and has become increasingly popular since the 1960s. Universities now offer MAs in ESP courses. They are ESP in BE journals, and special interest groups like the IETFL or TESOL, ESP SIGs and BE SIGs are there. Many language schools offer ESP and BE courses, an increasing number of more and more specialized ESP course books for subjects such as aviation, medicine, legal English, or BE books such as English for email are published. However, technology's role in language learning in general and in ESP in particular has changed over time and significantly. So in recent years, not only has the view of learning changed with time from the behaviorist to communicative to an integrative view, but technology has also evolved and become more ubiquitous in everyday life and particularly in professional world. Both of these have affected how technology is employed in ESP lessons. One more thing is very important when we just take use of technology for English for a specific purpose. We all know that as far as aviation is concerned, air traffic, the only language used is English most of the times. Whether it is any country, the air traffic, they use English. So if the person concerned is German or Indian or of any nationality, he needs to know English and the proper English. But there is a difference. He is not supposed to know the entire 2 billion words. He knows a specific knowledge, specific things about English, specific terminology regarded the air traffic. So now English for a specific purpose is for him. He can learn the things related with his job. He can learn the things that are required, needed for that. So that is where ESP works. In the past, teachers had to book computer rooms for language labs to go with their learners and allow them to use call software with mostly drill type exercises. Today, technology has become integrated into the classroom physically and pedagogically rather than being an add-on. Most of the schools, they have smart boards, interactive boards where students in a fun way learn the language. Computers particularly have come to be seen and used as a tool to accomplish certain tasks or to communicate. The full integration of technology into language learning with its three proper elements like theory, pedagogy, and technology playing an equally important role. We cannot negate theory. Of course, technology is there. Even then, theory is very, very important for researchers and for accepting the technology into the education. We need theory portion. Then pedagogy is there. Of course, we all understand the importance of pedagogy. And then comes technology, because technology is a tool. Technology cannot replace the teacher. Therefore, Garrett defines CALL now as the full integration of technology into language learning with its three elements of theory, pedagogy, and technology playing an equally important role. Now, let us talk about IF, interactive fiction. What is it? Promoting active reading through interactive fiction is also very, very important and a new addition. A related activity to DGBL is interactive fiction. IF is a purely text-based digital game in which the readers participate in the storytelling process by becoming the main protagonist, directly influencing how the narrative unfolds in the choices they make during the interactive reading process. Learners report that IF is particularly fun and engaging because users have control over the plot and need to solve puzzles along the way. Just imagine, like, I am watching a story, I didn't like the end, or I have got a particular affinity with a particular character. I am free to change the story as per my needs. While changing the story, I am doing justice with my thought process. Along with, I am learning the language. I am just using the language for my future benefit. So this is a fun game for how a child can learn a language. Not only a child, but at intermediate level or an adult learner also can just contribute in this particular storytelling and at the same time learn the language in his own way. Technology not only teach, it is also helpful in ELT assessment. It is helpful for teachers as a tool, of course for teaching, but also for assessing the work done by child. A literature review of ELT publications over the past 50 years reveals the shift away from a grammar-focused tradition to real engagement with language in real-world setting. Until 1970s, a general pedagogy for language teaching was based on learning list of vocab, grammatical use, reading comprehension, and short essay writing. That was all. But learning objectives of many courses then centered on the mastery of language structure. The related tasks were comprehension questions, which involved reading text and the production of short written answers. The assessed work tended to focus on the accuracy of the written answers in terms of their grammar, correct spelling, and syntax. There was often no requirement to show any real understanding of the text. Rather, you can just term that they were just the transformers. Whatever they used to receive, they used to reproduce. That was all required from them. How well they could reproduce whatever they had learned through the book or something like that. But now they are supposed to add something on their own. Now the assessment levels are changed. Now the assessment method has changed with the help of the technology. Language was not really viewed from the perspective of communication or use, but rather on the learner's capacity of using vocab, grammar, and sentence construction. Language was learned about, it was not necessarily used for anything. The modality of most assessment was written and tested procedural knowledge through the memorization of vocabulary list and certain types of sometimes obscure grammatical forms. I can remember that whenever we used to learn any foreign language for that matter, there was a long list of vocabulary. It was not possible to learn so many words without understanding their use, without understanding and using them often, so it could not become part of the personality. Today, when we discuss English language teaching and technology and assessing the test, it reflects real language use. Summarizing what we can surmise from a test score. Benjamin wrote, I quote, "A practice-based exploration of technology enhanced assessment in order to use scores from language tests to make inferences about language ability. We must be able to demonstrate how test performance corresponds to non-test language use." Unquote. In the 1960s, language teaching and assessment began to shift. Prominent authors such as Hyams in 1972 began to consider language learning in terms of communicative competence. This stage is often referred to in ELT assessment development as the CLT, Communicative Language Teaching. This paradigm shift led to changes in the skills we recognized as being important to learn a language and therefore in the skills we needed to assess and test, unquote, said by Morrow. So we have seen that language teaching needs technology. It should be just entwined to give better result. We cannot divorce the technology from language teaching. And while learning the technology, while using the technology, we should have a prior knowledge of language. We can enhance our knowledge with the help of technology, but the basic knowledge should be given in the classroom to the toddlers. While summing up, I will like to quote Butler Pescoz, who had listed 14 advantages of technology for ESP. I feel that those advantages are not only for English for specific purposes, but most of them are English in general also. I quote, number 1, it provides interaction and communicative activities representative of specific professional or academic environments. It fosters understanding of the socio-cultural aspect of the language as practiced in various fields and professions. It provides comprehensible field-specific input and facilitates student production. It provides sheltering strategies for language development and content-specific understanding. It uses task-based and inquiry-based strategies reflective of task and discipline, specific settings and situations. It uses authentic materials from specific disciplines and occupations. Like I told you, if a person is for air trafficking, then he will specifically learn those vocabulary needed for that particular area. If someone is going to become a chef, he requires the culinary habits and he will just consider that particular segment of vocabulary. It supplies authentic audiences, including outside experts in specific fields. It supports cognitive abilities and critical thinking skills required in the disciplines, uses collaborative learning, facilitates focused practice for the development of reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills across the curriculum and disciplines. It is student-centered and addresses specific needs of a student, uses multiple modalities to support different learning styles. It meets affective needs of students, motivation, self-esteem, and autonomy. Provides appropriate feedback and assessment of content knowledge and English skills. Now, to sum up, I would like to say, as far as this module is concerned, whenever we just discuss technology as a method of teaching language, specifically English language, we must take help from the technology, not only in the classroom, but after the classroom as well. Teachers should be tech savvy. Most of the teachers, specifically in rural area, because of lack of exposure, because of lack of just promoting the technology by the government, they are not in the position to use this technology for the benefit of themselves as teachers and for their learners. They should come forward, they should have this technology, just ingrain this technology into their system and try to use it for the betterment of their young learners. Thank you for visiting EPG Pathshala.